Right now on NBC 26, the Packers keep on rolling to start the season. We have highlights of tonight's win. Plus, remembering 9/11, how the Packers and our neighborhoods are commemorating the attacks 24 years later. And issues at a local mobile home park prompt legal action against the owner. The problems residents are dealing with. From Green Bay to Appleton to Oshkosh, NBC 26 is bringing you tonight's biggest headlines from neighborhoods across northeast Wisconsin. Thank you for joining us after the game. I'm Nina Sperano. The Packers begin season 2-0 by sealing the win over the Commanders at Lambeau Field. Sports reporter John Miller joins us now with the highlights. John?
Yeah, how about those Green Bay Packers, Nina? Off to a 2-0 start after beating the Lions on Sunday and trouncing the Commanders tonight, although the Commanders made it close there kind of at the end. But they take down two playoff teams from last year to start this season. Let's show you the highlights. Packers opening up with a remembrance of 9/11, honoring those who lost their lives 24 years ago today. Green Bay rolls 27-18. Kelly Hallinan joins me now. Kelly, what a game. There's a lot of things that went right that we can talk about. The defense was once again outstanding, but we got to go with your boy, Tucker Kraft, your pickleball buddy who had a career night.
John, you mentioned the defense. They had another big night, but tonight was the Tucker Kraft game. There was one point in this game where he had more yards receiving than the Commanders did in total offense. He had two big catches that set up the two early touchdowns for the Packers. The first one to Romeo Doubs and the second one to Josh Jacobs. And then to cap it all off, to cap off his career night, he got into the end zone himself. But we're hoping to hear from him in the locker room shortly. He just finished up an interview on the field, and when he exited, the fans went crazy. Tucker Kraft is definitely a fan favorite after his performance tonight. But we're hoping to hear from him later in the show, as well as some other players. But for now, from Lambeau Field, Kelly Hallinan, NBC 26 Sports.
GM Brian Gutekunst says, what third-round curse, Kelly? But you go into the locker room. We'll hear from you in a little bit. For now, let's send it back over to Nina.
Such a great night, John. Thanks. All right, let's get to weather now. It was a beautiful night for football outside, but inside Lambeau, fans turned the bowl into a blizzard. Our chief meteorologist Cameron Moreland joins us high above the field tonight with a look at the forecast. Nice view, Cam.
That's right, Nina. It was a winter warning type of atmosphere. That's what the Packers wanted, and that's what the Packers got. It was wear white and unite. Of course, the players wore their white helmets and uniforms, and they asked the fans to wear white as well to kind of give it a wintry appearance here in the bowl. And my daughter, McKenna, texted me during the third quarter and says, it looks like snow. So it obviously worked. Temperature-wise, it was a little warmer than what we would expect here during the winter months. Quite above what the frozen tundra of Lambeau Field is known for. We started out with a kickoff temperature of 64 degrees, and now we're sitting at 53. We have clear skies, and we had an incredible moon rise above Lambeau Field, and you can still kind of see it rising in the east. Temperatures across the state right now range from the upper 40s in Land O'Lakes to the lower 60s in Madison. By tomorrow morning, most of us will be in the lower to mid-50s, and we could have some areas of fog. That fog could be locally dense in spots. Temperatures will be in the mid-50s and climbing at the bus stop, which brings us to your weather, kids. Kid of the day, it is Weston. He is 9. He lives in Oshkosh, and after some morning low clouds and fog, expect sunshine in upper 70s. Perfect weather. Perhaps Weston can take one of his favorite hobbies outside, Legos, and enjoy the sunshine and the warmer temperatures.
I didn't want to go to a big city. I just wanted to play football. That's all. I didn't come here to be well-liked. I didn't come here to make friends. I didn't come here to be famous. I just wanted to play. And I was fortunate enough to serve a God that has been very good to me.
Special night tonight for Packers legend Sterling Sharpe. At halftime tonight, the legendary wide receiver received his Hall of Fame ring. Sharpe's name was also unveiled on the Lambeau Field facade, an honor reserved for only Packers players who are in the Pro Football Hall of Fame. Sharpe emerged as one of the top receivers in the league in the late 80s, early 90s, before his career was cut short in '94 because of a neck injury that eventually forced him to retire. To this day, Sharp still owns the Packers' record for most receiving touchdowns with 18, tied with Davante Adams. Now, if you came to tonight's game from the south and took I-41, your commute likely took a lot longer than usual. Well, whether it's crashes or ongoing construction, we spoke with some drivers about how they managed to get through all those delays to get to the game.
I'm Noah Cornelius reporting in Ashwaubenon. I know the preferred way to get to Lambeau is by foot, but if you're driving up through Appleton for game day, well, for the foreseeable future, it may take you a little bit longer. Did you hit any of the traffic on I-41?
Yes, I did, all the way from Neenah to here, just about. It was stop and go.
Robert Wida actually wasn't en route to the game.
I'm coming from St. Louis.
That's right. He drove 8 hours to be with family.
I wasn't expecting that at all, but my cousin did tell me there was a game going. Then there was a good sign around Neenah that said that was heavy traffic because of the game, so I knew what I was in.
Because due to the ongoing I-41 reconstruction project, there have been delays for those doing the Packers pilgrimage. So I decided to time it out myself. 5 o'clock Thursday evening, I set off from Appleton through Kaukauna, Wrightstown, De Pere, and then finally to Green Bay. A commute that took just under 53 minutes.
Well, normally in good traffic, we can do it in about 3 hours. Today, it looks like it's going to take us about 4 hours.
It's a drive, that Illinois resident.
We're coming from Wells Park, Illinois.
But Wisconsin native Dean Senglob says, while worse than previous years he's come up, it's just something drivers will have to stomach.
The construction's a little heavier than normal. There's been times where there's been snowstorms or other things, but this time the construction's catching us.
I also reached out to the Wisconsin Department of Transportation. They weren't able to speak with me today. However, in the past, they've told me that viewers can go to their website where they can find an interactive map full of construction detours, delays, and more. You can find more by going to NBC26.com. In Ashwaubenon, Noah Cornelius, NBC 26.
The tribute in lights is lighting up New York City tonight in honor of those who lost their lives in the September 11th attacks 24 years ago. Nearly 3,000 people died on that day. The twin beams of light symbolizing the Twin Towers reached 4 miles into the sky and can be seen some 60 miles away. Closer to home, there was plenty of excitement in Titletown for the Packers game, but the weight of 9/11 was also felt.
Our hometown team took the time to remember the lives lost on the deadly September 11th terrorist attacks before Thursday night's game. I'm Perry Apostolatos here at Lambeau Field. Before the game began, I met 2 men who traveled quite a distance to be in Green Bay, but kept their home, New York City, close to their hearts on this somber anniversary. A special on-field tribute before the start of Thursday's game.
Please join us now as we pause to honor the memory of the nearly 3,000 innocent lives lost since September 11, 2001.
The Packers introduced a surviving firefighter, the daughter of a fallen firefighter, a pilot, and flight attendant to honor the courage and sacrifice of those who responded to the attacks and to remember all who lost their lives on 9/11.
I know, look at that.
Blocks away from Lambeau Field, I met a former New York City police sergeant who traveled to Titletown for the game. He tells me he was on duty the fateful day the Twin Towers fell.
I came up from the subway and I saw the hole in the North Tower, and as you got closer, you just saw people jumping out of the hole.
Recounting those haunting memories, Dennis Lanahan told me he made the trip from New York to Green Bay with some fellow first responders who also lost friends and coworkers in the attacks, like Mike Rapp, a former deputy chief of the New York City Fire Department. He says 9/11 is difficult to talk about.
I'm very thankful to be here. I'm a lucky one, so. There's a lot of people here who we're here today because of the actions of the police and firefighters.
Lanahan and Rapp say even decades later, they will never forget the friends and coworkers they lost.
The sadness never leaves you. You look back at it and you have to live your life. You know, this is what these guys would want you to do.
Lanahan man tells me he has visited Green Bay for years. It's Rap's first time, but both men say that they're grateful to be here together after surviving the tragedy 24 years ago. In Green Bay, Perry Apostolakos, NBC 26.
Thank you, Perry. This morning at West High School in Green Bay, students held a moment of silence and played commemorative music. Then climbed the football stadium bleachers to honor the firefighters of 9/11. They climbed the football bleachers as a symbol of the Twin Towers ascent 24 years ago. Quarterback Jordan Love is now speaking to the media. Here's a QB Now.
Things that's who Tuck is every day. You know, he comes in and puts that work in, and in practice every day he's making those big time plays, and he's very consistent right now. So I don't think it's a secret for him to go out there and ball like he does.
Tucker Kraft with a huge night. 6 grabs, 124 yards, and a touchdown. Let's welcome back in Kelly Hallinan now. Kelly, you were in the locker room. Kraft seemed very happy. What'd you hear from him?
Yeah, I mentioned earlier that Tucker Kraft was a fan favorite. Well, he was a media favorite, too. The amount of cameras and microphones surrounding him after that career performance. But when he was asked about how he felt about his career night, he said, we have practice on Monday, so it's already on to the next. He's definitely said he felt those 126 yards afterwards. He said he was pretty tired, but here's how he described his career night.
We got practice on Monday, I guess. Hopefully I can keep stacking games like that.
We saw a lot of guys get to Jaden Daniels tonight, and Micah Parsons we just talked to briefly before I came out here, and he said that's why they traded for me, because they want to put the league on notice about this defense, John.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Kelly. Kelly, you go get some rest. You had a great day. Outstanding coverage tonight. We'll see you again next week. For now, we'll toss it back to Nina.
All right. Thanks, guys. Cameron is back with the final check your forecast next.